I want to thank the chairman. I wanted to, Director Rodriguez, just to be clear, following up on Senator Portman's question about the current program and the refugee program. Director Comey, not only did he testify before this committee with what he told Senator Portman, but also I think what has concerned many of us is the testimony he gave before the House committee on October 21st of 2015, and in which he basically said that the U.S. government may not have the ability to vet thoroughly all the Syrian refugees coming into the United States. He explained that if a Syrian person is not already in the FBI's database, that person is unknown to the agency, leaving an inadequate basis for the person's background to be screened for terrorism risk. He said, quote, "We can only query against that which we've collected." He cautioned, he also said, so if someone has never made a ripple in the pond in Syria in a way that would get their identity or interests reflected in our database, we can query our database until the cows come home, but we are not going to. There will be nothing because we have no record on that person. So I guess my question is, I understand all the multiple steps that you're taking, but isn't one of our big gaps here is that we don't have the kind of intelligence we had in Iraq, where we actually had, because we had many representatives on the ground, we had men and women who fought there, we had diplomatic representatives that we did not have in Syria, that this presents a different challenge to us.
Yeah, there's no question that in Iraq we had a unique level of intelligence saturation. To what I think was Senator McCaskill's point, though.
But I'm asking this question.
Yeah,
so are there greater challenges, and how do we reconcile what Director Comey has said about these gaps with concerns that our constituents have that I think are very legitimate about this vetting process based on a gap in information?
No, I'm trying to explain. So this is not the first time by far that we have been vetting individuals coming from a country that was a zone of conflict where we were not participants, where we did not have the intelligence gathering ability that we had in Iraq. The fact is that we are gathering intelligence throughout the world.
Okay, so just simple question. Do you diminish at all the concerns raised by the FBI director to the Congress?
No, I think I was very clear that what we do is not without risk. What I am saying is that we are using multiple intelligence resources.
I understand that. Just a simple yes or no. Do you disagree, or do you have any quarrel with the comments that he has testified to in the House committee?
I do not have quarrel with what he said. I think there is context that is critical.
Okay, I appreciate it. I just wanted to understand. So I want to understand, so of all the individuals involved in the Paris attacks, can either of you answer the question of how many were on our no-fly zone list?
I know that I'm not in a position in an open hearing to discuss that information.
Okay. And can either of you answer the question of how many were on our terrorist watch list, or is that something we cannot answer in an open session?
Again, in an open session, I don't.
So I would agree with Senator McCaskill that I think there are that our allies that we on this visa waiver program, which this committee actually has been focusing on for a while, a number of hearings related even prior to this on the visa waiver program, that we do need to understand what information and what gaps were on that based on whether those individuals who are engaged and are the perpetrators of the attacks in Paris were on our list, number one. I think that we've all received some briefing on that in a classified setting, but this is something we have to have an open discussion about as well. Where are those gaps that need to be fixed? Because if they can't get on our no-fly zone list, and they're not on our no-fly zone list, this is a real issue on the visa waiver program, because that means potentially they can come here. And so that's something that needs to be addressed. So I don't think that it's mutually exclusive that we address these gaps in the visa waiver program that need to be addressed. Obviously, there's legitimate and important reasons for people to travel to the United States of America, but we need to make sure that we address that issue as well. But I think many of us are concerned, based on what we're hearing from some of our top intelligence officials and the director of the FBI, that the gaps we have don't allow us to fully know what we need to know. on some of the individuals that are coming potentially to our country. Finally, I just want to say on a point that if we do not address ISIS with what they are doing in Syria and Iraq, then we aren't going to be in a position, if we don't work together with our allies to defeat ISIS, then the refugee problem is going to continue because these individuals will not have a home. And I hope that's something that we all work together on a bipartisan basis. Thank you.
Senator Tester.